So if you are into backpacking, camping, hiking, mountain biking, and you're looking for a tough, purpose-built watch, one that can give you the temperature outside, and one that can give you a compass to tell you where you're headed, but you don't want to spend the over $400 for a Casio G-SHOCK Mudman or a Casio Pro-trek or even an Apple Watch, well then this video is something you'll want to check out. Hello and welcome to Infinite Chronos. So the watch I'm talking to you about today is the Casio SGW-100B, and it comes from their standard offering of watches. It also has a thermometer and a compass built right in, all for under $50. Let's check it out. So here we have the Casio SGW100B. Let's go ahead and we'll go over some dimensions and specs on this watch, and then we'll get into a little bit more detail. So the case size on this watch is 48 millimeters, and it is 52 millimeters from lug to lug, as you can see from here to here. It is 13 millimeters thick, so not very thick at all, and it very, very light. It is 53 grams on the wrist, and it is a 22 millimeter lug width, but you can see replacing the strap on this is going to be very specific. So I don't know that you're going to be able to replace it on this particular one. Perhaps on the resin band you could as well. There is a mineral crystal on this watch, and the case itself is completely resin, but it does have an aluminum bezel, and the buttons and so forth are also resin as well. The battery life on this is approximately 3 years. I've had this for about a year, so it's still going pretty strong. It does have an electroluminescent backlight, so it does kind of glow blue-green in darkness. So it looks really nice when you press the light button on that. It does have 200 meters of water resistance, which is really good. Most of your field watches and so forth you're good at 100 meters, but this one actually gives you 200, which is nice. There's also a digital compass and a thermometer. This also has a stopwatch, supports dual time zones, has 4 alarms, and it does have a countdown timer. And I believe there's also a snooze feature in here as well. So overall, you're getting a lot of features in this watch for the price point that you are buying this for. Now, as I mentioned, the case is resin. It is completely resin, but it feels very sturdy, very, very sturdy, and very well designed and nicely designed here, as you can tell. The aluminum bezel here, also you'll see the compass points are pointed out on here, and when you use the compass you can see that as well. This watch does not feel cheap by any stretch of the imagination, and the design of it really calls to mind to me something like a G-SHOCK, or even like a Pro-trek line of the Casio models that they have that are for outdoors and so forth. Really, really nice. The watch is definitely purpose-built. You can tell just by looking at it. This is a very purpose-built watch, and it screams rugged, outdoors, I'm ready to go. You can tell that the display is incredibly legible. It does have a world timer on here, as you can see here. Let me see. There we go. So, and it'll tell you, and you can set, there's like 48 cities that it'll go to. And I like about this, right now I can see the time that's in London, and up at the top next to London, you can see that's my time zone. So that works out really, really well. I like that. I like that feature. If I press the mode button again, I will get into the stopwatch. Now this does have the start, stop, and lap time features and so forth on it. So you can start, stop, and then reset it right there. That looks good right there. This does have a timer feature, a countdown timer. I believe it's 60 minutes that it'll count down. You also have 4 alarms on this particular watch. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it has a snooze function. And then you can turn the signal on or off, whether or not you want it to chime on the hour and so forth, or have the little beeps when you do all that. Mine does not. Now back over here, you'll come back to the actual time function. So really got a lot of features packed into it. Now I'll show you the compass feature. So if you look closely here, let me zoom in. There we go. Now when I press to activate the compass and thermometer feature, you hit the mode, not the mode button, but you hit this compass button right here. It says compass. It will go into the compass and it will also show you the current temperature. So when I press it that way, you can see it's pointing east, northeast, east. It's getting its bearings. There you go. You can see the current temperature, 72.2 degrees. And it'll hold this for about 5-10 seconds, and then it'll go out. If you want to get it again, you just hit the compass feature again, and it'll do it again. It'll calculate where it's going and so forth, and it'll tell you, there you are, and there's the temperature. Now, to get out of that, you just hit the mode again, and you're back to the actual time and so forth. Now, one really nice feature that I liked about this watch is, of course, the watch strap. This is an incredibly nice watch strap. You can see here, this is that padded kind of a nylon. It's very comfortable on the wrist. I'll pick that up and show it to you a little closer. It's very comfortable on wrist. You got the little leather piece right here and out here for extra protection. Does not feel uncomfortable at all. When you have the watch on, you don't even really notice that you're even wearing it, to be quite honest. And the strap keeps everything nice and cool. They also sell this in a resin strap and a couple of different colorways that you'll see coming up in here. And I wouldn't recommend, they also have a negative display. Now, I wouldn't recommend that one because that is really difficult to read, especially outdoors. So I would highly consider not picking up a negative display because it's real difficult to read. Now you'll see the bioluminescent backlight and so forth. It looks really good in the dark. The one problem that I do have with it, of course, is in fact that it does not do well. It's only got like 1 second, so you're constantly having to hit it over and over if you really need to get a good reading on that. So at this point, let's go ahead and go over some of the likes and the dislikes of the watch. So what did I not like about this watch? Well, first of all, the backlight timeout. It's only about a second or two, and I haven't been able to find a way to adjust that. So that's a real problem. The other thing that I didn't really like about it too much is the watch strap. The watch strap is an odd design that fits into the watch. So there's not very many options that you can choose from if you're looking to trade that strap out. So that was a big problem for me too. Also, I found that setting the watch up could be a little bit difficult to do. It took some getting used to. I had to fumble around with the menu for a little bit, but eventually I got it. And lastly, the temperature. If you're really looking to get an accurate temperature, you have to take the watch off, put it on a flat surface, and let it sit for about 20 minutes before it'll get a true ambient temperature reading. Otherwise, if you leave it on your wrist, it reads about 10 degrees high. But if that's not a problem for you, then you're all set. Now, what did I like about this watch? Well, you have 200 meters of water resistance. You have a thermometer. You have a compass. You've got a world time. You've got 4 alarms. You've got a stopwatch built in. And quite frankly, it is really legible and easy to read. And I did like the backlight on it. It was just the timing was really the only issue. Now, let's also not forget that you get all of this for under 50 bucks. So you can't really beat that at all. Well, there you have it. There's my opinion and my take on the Casio SGW-100B. I'd like to know what you think, so why don't you drop a comment below and let me know what you're thinking about this watch. And while you're at it, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. I'd like to see it get there soon. And while you're at it, why don't you take a look at one of my other videos and see what I have to say about those watches. Thanks so much for watching.